You know, guys, I am really struggling to start this video off. This is my 10th take on just the freaking intro of this video. I'm sorry if you guys hear noises. I'm sitting on a swing right now. I just need to sit down. I don't care. I'm sorry if it bothers y'all. I'm sorry. But I mean, take 11, I guess. Just a brutal loss in the Queen City last night as the Gamecocks fall to UNC 31-17 in the season opener. Tough way to start your season, man. Very tough start to year 3 of the Beamer era. I mean, you had an opportunity in this game. College game day was here. The winner of this game, I really feel, was going to go on to do some very good things this season. I really thought that. I mean, the Carolina title on the line, who gives a crap about that anymore? Like, honestly, who gives a crap? Yeah, we say that because we lost, but still. The point is, I mean, you had a really good opportunity in Charlotte against a ranked North Carolina team. You know, I felt like a freaking apologist after the rankings dropped. I tried to argue the best I could on why South Carolina deserved to be in the top 25, all because of how we ended the season last year. That win against Tennessee, that win against Clemson, and I mean, yeah, a loss, but still a pretty solid offensive fight in the Gator Bowl against the Irish. I heard the 8-9 win hype from some people, even a couple saying we could win 10 games, and I actually sort of believed it. Why? Because I really did think the offense turned the corner in that final game, and then that Tennessee game would start a new era, of the Beamer era in offense. I really thought that. I genuinely did. And I thought, Spencer Rattler's coming back, Antoine Wells coming back, Satterfield's out. Yeah, I know Dawah Loggins, not really proven, but give him a shot. You saw how the team just ended last season. I really thought that this team had a good opportunity against what we thought was a horrible North Carolina defense. And the way we ended the season last year, you had that question, can we carry that on? You got a pretty good opportunity in the Mayo Classic. And not only did South Carolina lay an egg in this game, they put out one of the worst offensive line performances I have ever seen in my life, if not the worst. I mean, it's the same story over the last 2 seasons for South Carolina. 2021, horrible offensive line. 2022, bad offensive line. And now this year, once again, those 2 seasons were bad offensive line-wise, but this performance might be the worst I have ever seen out of the Gamecocks. And that's saying something. Spencer Rattler came back for a reason, and it was not to get sacked 9 times. I feel sorry for Rattler. I feel sorry for him. He doesn't have a damn offensive line to rely on, and that's sad. You need one of those to win games in the SEC, and you need an offense to win a game like last night. You knew UNC was going to bring it. Drake May, you heard all the hype. I mean, shoot, British Brooks looked good too. UNC looked good offensively. But there were times in that game, especially in the fourth quarter, where I really thought you had a chance to turn the tide in this football game. How about the 2 interceptions by Drake May? We didn't turn the ball over once in this game. UNC was more penalized. I mean, you couldn't take advantage. May... Those wide receivers, which I don't really think those 2 interceptions were entirely on Drake May. I think they were more on the receivers he was throwing them to. But you were gifted 2 turnovers in the game. And that's not all of it. You were also gifted an onside recovery in the second half. And you couldn't do anything with it. Not a damn thing. I mean, that was a horrible showing on the offensive side of the ball. And I don't blame Rattler for this loss. Rattler made plays. He did what he could. But it's very hard to be that guy at quarterback when your offensive line can't even block a soul. It's hard. I don't care if we had Tom Brady back there, guys. If you ain't got an offensive line, you ain't going to have the game you want to have as a quarterback. You're just not. This loss hurts in many ways. I mean, South Carolina was outmatched on every side in several ways. I don't want to say on every side, but several ways. You were just outclassed by that UNC team. It was sad. It was honestly sad to watch. The opportunities this team had, but could not, for the life of them, take advantage of it. And that's how you lose games like this. I do not want to hear from any opposing fan base that can't get the Gamecocks out of their head that we didn't have a chance in that football game. We were gift-wrapped quite a bit of things, especially late in the game. Only down, what were we down, like 31-17, what the final score was? You telling me we didn't have a chance to get 2 touchdowns there? You're bull pooping. You're bull pooping if you actually think that. I mean, it really makes me mad. I don't feel like raging because, to be honest with you guys, I don't really feel good right now. I felt nauseated all day. It's probably from watching that offensive line. I won't doubt it. But it just, you hear all freaking offseason long, UNC defense can't tackle. UNC defense can't tackle. And, they played pretty well. I mean, let me say this. Here's my question. Is UNC's defense that good, or is our offensive line really that bad? If I'm being 100% honest with you guys, I kind of think we're just that bad. I don't want to take anything away from UNC. They played good. They earned this one. But it can be very deceptive when you have an offensive line as bad as South Carolina's. Trust me, it can be deceptive. You can get fooled into thinking your defense is good with the horrific offensive line play that we have in Columbia, South Carolina. It can be deceptive. I ain't trying to gaslight that UNC defense into thinking they're not good now. I'm just giving you my 2 cents. In my opinion, I think UNC defense, we'll see about them. We'll see about them. When they play a team with an offensive pulse, we'll see more about them. But for now, I really have to say, I have a feeling we're just that bad. And if we don't figure something out on the offensive side of the ball, it could be a rough year for the Gamecocks. Our schedule's tough. This is no cupcake, guys. This is no cupcake. And if I'm being honest with you, I kind of feel like you had to win this game if you wanted to win more than 7 games on your schedule. Now, my expectations as a Gamecock were once I was thinking, could we reach 9 wins? Now, can we just make a bowl game? This is what a loss like this does to a man. I go from, can we take that next step this year to, well, can we just freaking make a bowl game this year? And I have some real questions about this season and about this team. I don't doubt Shane Beamer football team's ability to fight and make surprises. I mean, have we learned nothing the last 2 seasons? The season's definitely not over, but this is definitely a hard loss to stomach. It is, truly. Let's go on a walk, guys. Let's go on a walk in the woods for some therapy. Why not? Why not? It's a freaking spider web. Hold on. Get out of the way. Yeah. Mess with me. I'm pissed off right now. Oh, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Just tough. Tough. And, you're not going to win every game. You're not. I mean, unless you got the talent that Georgia has, which you don't. Hate to say it, but you don't. The best you can really hope for, listen, I'm going to sound a little you-know-what saying this, and I'm not trying to be negative. Again, the season's not over, but that Furman game next weekend. Furman is a top 10 FCS team. They return a heck of a lot of starters. It's in Columbia. They gave Clemson fits last year. I don't think that's a game, especially now, that you could just sleepwalk. I really don't think that's a game you could just sleepwalk to. You had to prepare. I'm sorry, but when you have the offensive line that Carolina does, you can't afford to sleep on anybody. You can't. You can't sleep on anybody. Heck, that Jacksonville State game, the Battle of the Gamecocks, even I don't feel comfortable sleepwalking on that anymore. And turns out, Vandy, kind of not really good again. They didn't really impress me against Hawaii like they did last year. Don't feel comfortable sleeping on them. I don't feel comfortable. Even Florida. Don't sleep on Florida either. They waxed you last year in Gainesville. You just can't sleep on anybody. I'm not suggesting we're going to lose every game this season. Of course not. But legitimately, man, I mean, you had the chance with this game to have a tone setter. I don't think this will be a 2019-like season where this game just sets you up to fail and you win like 4 or 5 games. I don't think it's that bad. But for God's sake, man, for God's sake, it's going to be tough to make a bowl game. You got to go on the road to Missouri. You got to play Kentucky. You got to play Clemson. You got to play at A&M. You got to play Mississippi State. You got to play Georgia. You got to play on the road at Tennessee. Need I go any further? It's going to be a tough road. It's going to be tough. I'm not doubting this team. I picked us to lose to North Carolina. And I picked us to lose to North Carolina, but I didn't think that we'd get embarrassed on the offensive side of the ball the way we got embarrassed last night. I mean, a 2-touchdown loss to a supposedly pretty bad North Carolina defense, that changes. That rocks your opinions. Man. A feeling similar to this a feeling like this, it must have been how North Carolina fans felt a couple of years ago when they lost in the Mayo Bowl to the Gamecocks. What were they? Now, we were underdogs. A lot of people picked us to lose this game, but again, a lot of people thought we could do it too. So, I mean, this is a tough loss. You lose the title of Carolina. I mean, I'm biased. We'll always be Carolina in my freaking opinion, but, technically you lost. You lost that battle. I mean, this just hurts. I mean, this was an opportunity game. I'm not saying that this game wrecks your season, but my God, I mean, the last 3 seasons in a row, 2021, offensive line concerns, that kind of set the tone for what we saw as a season. 2022, that set the tone for the offense of the season. 2023, I can go ahead and tell you, I think it's setting the tone. I think it's going to be another rough year for the offense. We might have a couple games where we break out, but aside from that, I sadly think it's going to be a rough year for the offense. I hate to say it. They got to prove me wrong. And I hope they do. You saw North Carolina getting all the attention in the pregame warm-ups. You saw Drake May getting all the hype. No one barely even talking about Spencer Rattler. You saw North Carolina get more hype. They're ranked number 21. I was wondering, why is Rattler getting no hype in this game? Why is South Carolina unranked? Well, now you know. I don't know why, man. Maybe you could say I'm just a paranoid Gamecock fan. You wouldn't be wrong. But I don't know why every time someone is down on us and quote-unquote disrespecting us, it's like they know something that we don't. Every time. Except for a few games where South Carolina surprises you. But sometimes in games like this where the other team gets all the hype and you wonder why South Carolina ain't getting talked about that much, this is why. You need an offensive line to win games like last night, and you didn't have it last night. Unfortunately, I made a bet with my North Carolina friend that if we lost this game, I had to come on and say that other Carolina was the real Carolina. UNC earned that title. Right now, they are Carolina. I hate to say it, but it's true. They are Carolina. They earned that right now. I mean, yeah, we basically owned them the majority of the, 21st century, but whatever. Let them have this one, I mean, North Carolina beating South Carolina in football, it's like a once or twice in a lifetime experience. What is up, everybody? Your boy SCCFT here, back with South Carolina versus Furman post-game video today. It's a nice day here in Columbia. It's rainy. I mean, for God's sake, listen to this. Listen to this. I mean, my God, if you didn't know any better, I'd say we're in Tuscaloosa, Alabama right now. Thank God we're not one of those people today, though, huh? But, yeah, it's a nice day. It's a great day to be alive, and it's always a great day to be a Gamecock, and especially after a dominating win. Especially in the second half. South Carolina beats Furman 47-21. We went 1-1. We got our first win of the 2023 season, and it feels good. Now, there's a lot I really want to talk about for this game. The first thing I want to say, though, is, hey, look, good game to Furman. I know we're going to hear, Furman's an FCS team. Furman's an FCS team. Yeah, they're an FCS team, but they're actually a really good team. Furman's a good team. That's a good team up there in Travelers Rest. And in the first half, they actually gave Carolina a pretty good game. And I'm going to be honest with you, after last week, I actually thought Furman was going to keep this game within 14 points. But thankfully, the Gamecocks come out here and win this game by 26 in front of an awesome crowd at night under lights at Williams-Brice. There's a lot I really want to talk about today, and this is where I want to start. Great second half adjustments by the defense. The first half was very scary. I'm going to be 100% honest with you here. The slow starts, it reminds me a little bit of how we started the season last year. This game, for whatever reason, kind of reminded me of how we started the Charlotte game and the SC State game, but I do want to get that fixed up before we get into the meat of our schedule. Because next weekend we go to Athens to play the Mutts. Then we have another Mutt team after that, Mississippi State. We're really starting to get into the meat of our schedule now. So there's a lot of things I want cleared up. This game was not pretty at times, especially in the first quarter. Listen, give Furman credit. Like I said, good football team. And they came. They were not intimidated by Williams-Brice Stadium, and they gave it a fight for as long as they could. But the Gamecocks eventually, made the second half adjustments, and they ran away with this one. Let's talk about the offense real quick. Folks, we got a quarterback. And I'm not just saying we got a quarterback. We have an elite, superstar level quarterback in Spencer Rattler. Now you're really starting to see why this guy was touted as highly as he was. Why he got all that Heisman hype. It didn't work out for him at OU. Last year he was finding his footing. Did pretty well towards the end of the season. And so far he's actually on to a pretty good start. Listen, last weekend was very disappointing. Folks, that was not on Spencer Rattler. You want to know why South Carolina lost that game to UNC by as much as they did? Look at the offensive line. Now, the offensive line played a little bit better this week, especially in the second half. But, Spencer Rattler is a baller. He is one hell of a football player, and he made some amazing plays today. And, of course, Xavier Legette, freaking beast. Xavier Legette's a beast. He's gonna be trouble. He's going to be trouble. And I've been waiting for Xavier Legette to really have that season that we all knew he was capable of. Now you're really starting to see it happen. And especially that throw to Luke Doty. From Rattler to Doty. Listen, I love Luke Doty. He's a good athlete. I don't think any of us are sitting here questioning that Luke Doty is a good athlete. But I didn't think he was well positioned as a quarterback. And That's all right. That's all right. Some positions aren't going to work out, but him playing as the wide receiver, it looks pretty good. He's got a lot of positive things going for him, and I hope we continue to use Luke Doty in the way we have, because he's a weapon, he's a baller, he'll make some plays. How about Mega Blake? Tyshawn Russell, that long pass from another QB I'm really excited about. Lenora Sellers, let me tell you something. Lenora Sellers is a dangerous quarterback, and he's going to be a problem. And he is someone that I really hope we use as wild card this season, because Lenora Sellers, I really like that guy. I think he's got the potential to take over when Rattler leaves next year. But, man, I'm just really excited to see Spencer Rattler playing the way he is this early in the season. It gets me excited, because you need a quarterback to win games in the SEC. You do. And if the offensive line can allow him, if the offensive line can allow Rattler to make plays, he's going to make some plays. And if the offensive line steps it up, South Carolina could be dangerous in the SEC this year. They could. I'm not trying to overhype this win against Furman. I'm not, because there's still a lot of things this team has to work out, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And next week's going to be a big test. We go to Athens to play the Dogs. Georgia, I know, let me tell you something. I've heard some people say, oh, we got a chance against Georgia, folks. We got a chance against Georgia. Georgia doesn't look so good. Georgia's still dominating. They're still dominating. They're still a really good football team. I don't know about all that hype. I think listen, I'd love to see it. We did it in 2019, but Georgia is a different beast now to when they were in 2019. And I know Carolina's better now than they were in 2019 too. A lot better. But, Georgia's still a very good team. I'd love to see it. And, you have a chance in every game you play when you have a quarterback, especially one that's playing as good as Spencer Rattler is. But it's going to be a test. It's going to be a test. Then we got Mississippi State. I think that's going to be a test. So this was a positive win. There are some things we need to work on for sure, but to see the offense explode the way they did, Spencer Rattler throwing the ball deep, making huge plays. I mean, my Lord, man. My Lord. And listen, prayers out to Marion Brown. That's horrible. That's just awful to see the guy go down. Went on crutches in the sideline. It's awful to lose him, and I hope. I wish him the best recovery. I really do. But it really makes me excited to see the level that Spencer Rattler is playing right now. It's the Spencer Rattler that everyone's been waiting and wanting to see. He threw for over 350 yards and 3 touchdowns. And he's had a pretty solid completion percentage. Spencer Rattler is looking like that guy. I'm not trying to hype him up to be a Heisman finalist. Of course not. But I am saying if the offensive line can allow him time and he can find Xavier Legette, Juice Wells, and all those targets that we have kept finding, South Carolina could be hell to play. So this is a good win. A lot of positive takeaway. Still got some things to work on, but I like what I'm seeing so far out of our quarterback play. So this state is still garnet and black. Gamecocks still run the state. Clemson down, Furman down. It's our state, baby. And honestly, Clemson had a great performance in the second half, but man, that team's got a lot of working out to do. Keep your eyes peeled. Go Gamecocks. Georgia, between you and me, try not to get any players arrested before the game. Go Gamecocks. The South Carolina Gamecocks fall to the Georgia Bulldogs 24-14 in Athens. Let's talk about it. This game, to put it very bluntly, was a tale of two halves for both teams. South Carolina was leading 14-3 at halftime. It felt like almost everything was going South Carolina's way, and Georgia could do nothing about it. Boos were raining down from the crowd in Athens. It was not good. The Dogs trailed by 11 points. It was their largest halftime deficit in 3 years, if I recall correctly. And then the second half happened. Georgia came alive. Their offense was moving the football well. Their defense completely shut down the Gamecocks and Spencer Rattler. And all of a sudden, it looked like a different football team out there. Like a completely different team. Something clicked. I don't know if Kirby Smart got on the guys. I don't know if he got on the guys in the locker room at halftime, but something surely changed. I mean, it's an unfortunate outcome for South Carolina. You were up by 11 points, and, well, couldn't do anything in the second half. Couldn't do anything. And, that's a disappointing outcome for South Carolina, and look, let me just say this. Congratulations to the Georgia Bulldogs. I know that the Georgia fans are frustrated about how their team played today, and I understand it, but at least you guys got the win. At least you can say that, right? A win is a win. Even if it's ugly, it's better than a good-looking loss, right? And that's the thing about this. There's no moral victories in college football. We can say, oh, well, Carolina showed up today, and they did. For the first half, at least. They didn't get completely blown out, even though they were shut out 21-0 in the second half. They didn't score a single point in the second half. They could get nothing going for the life of them. They couldn't take advantage. In Georgia, they made some mistakes in the second half, and you could just never take advantage of them. And the Georgia Bulldogs, they took advantage of South Carolina's silence. And they won the football game. Pretty clutch for Georgia. The comeback down 11 at the half. I feel like a lot of people saw that coming. I'm not going to lie. Even I did in a way. But give them credit. Give them credit. They were down 11. Things were not going good. People thought they were going to lose. And they came out in the second half, but they just shut all that down. You got to give them credit for it. This one is really difficult for me because, especially early on, it felt like a 2019-like game. Like it was South Carolina's day. It just felt like everything was going in the Gamecocks' favor and things were going against Georgia's way. Of course, again, Georgia came and absolutely shut it down in the second half. Came out of nowhere and started playing like they knew what to do. And Gamecocks just had no answer, and that's unfortunate. That really is, because, again, it's hard to win against the number one team in the country. Georgia's a good football team. They're a great football team. Look, we can debate all day long, all week long, are they really the number one team in the country? They're still an elite football team, guys. They have flaws, sure, but they're still a really good football team. They found a way to win. And this is unfortunate because, again, we were up by 11. It really seemed like, oh, my God, maybe we got them. Maybe we got them again. This being the last time due to conference expansion, this is going to be the last time we play Georgia for another year or two. And it would have felt so good, guys, as a South Carolina fan. And I know I speak for almost every South Carolina fan. It would have felt so good to be able to talk trash to Georgia for not just a year, but 2 or 3. That would have felt so good, man. And especially to do it at their place. Like, oh, the opportunity, man. It's just disappointing, bro. It's just disappointing. I will say, Juice Wells had a pretty good day, I thought. Had a nice touchdown pass. The carry on Joyner had a good game. I didn't think Spencer Rattler really did all that bad. I mean, of course, second half, everything was shut down. Absolutely dominated in the second half. Couldn't do anything. It was like the roles switched in the second half. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like I said, it's a tale of two halves, bro. It's a tale of two halves. That's the best way I can explain it. And, it's always tough for South Carolina to lose, but I will give the team credit. Again, there are no moral victories in college football. We lost a game. We did. We lost. We lost. But I'm not going to sit here and act like this team didn't show up and play today, because they did. Because so many times, especially against Georgia, especially last year, oh my God. But so many times South Carolina comes out against teams like this, and they just get dominated. South Carolina put up a fight today. They put up a fight. They did what they could. Even though the second half didn't go very well, let's give them some credit. South Carolina showed up and played a good game today. So, I guess that's really pretty much all I can really recap about this game. Just a tale of two halves. I'll give the Gamecocks credit for showing up and playing a good game, but it's very disappointing. Blowing an 11-point lead at halftime to a number one team in the country, it's unfortunate. Congratulations again to the Georgia fans. Again, we can have this debate all week long if Georgia's the number one team in the country or not, but they're still a really, really good football team. Great football teams don't win games like this. They don't come up clutch when it matters most, and Georgia did. And regardless what you say, this is a team that's likely going to be right back in the college football playoff, and they might even three-peat. So, say what you want. Carolina lost. Georgia won. Here to eat my crow and say good game to the Bulldogs. All South Carolina can do, regroup, get ready for Mississippi State. Another Bulldog. Another Bulldog. Good gracious. A Bulldog I think we can actually beat, though. Mississippi State, a team with a lot of problems. We get them at home. I think that's very winnable for South Carolina. So, got a good opportunity coming back home to face the Bulldogs. See if the Gamecocks can, shake this one off and get a win at home against the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all have a fantastic day. Go Gamecocks, even in a loss. It's always great to be a Gamecock. Go Cox. The Gamecocks take down the Mississippi State Bulldogs in Columbia 37-30. Let's talk about it. How about them Gamecocks, bro? How about them Gamecocks? Can we stand up for this South Carolina offense? What an exciting game in Columbia. At least for me personally. It was wildly entertaining. Both offenses just trading blows all night long. Not much defense, and we'll get to that soon. But I just want to brag about this offense real quick. Spencer Rattler and Xavier Legette. This duo absolutely shined tonight. And every single South Carolina fan should be excited for what this is going to bring for this season. Because if this duo can be like this every game, Carolina, they're going to win some football games. Maybe they can match last season's record. I mean, this is an exciting duo. It's one of the best duos in college football. It's unbelievable what Spencer Rattler is doing, especially what Xavier Legette's doing. I mean, this is exciting to watch. Exciting to watch, especially after, the years of struggling offense in Columbia, and finally it looks like we got something going. And with that, look, I'm not trying to anoint Dow Loggins already because it's year one and it's like the 4th or 5th game of the season. But guys, give him credit. I mean, at this point last year, Spencer Rattler looked very concerning. This year, he looks like one of the best quarterbacks in college football, especially at home. We got a dynamic duo. Xavier Legette having a major season thus far. And I can't wait to watch this all season long. You got to give Dow Loggins credit. It already looks so much better than, the crap show that was the Marcus Satterfield era, where South Carolina was lucky to, let's call it for what it is, score over 26 points. Folks, I'm going to tell you what. Give credit to Mississippi State as well, because there were multiple times, and Mississippi State went down by double digits multiple times in this football game, and there were times where, legitimately, I thought South Carolina was about to blow it. And that's why I got to credit this offense, because Mississippi State, Will Rogers and Mississippi State, they lit up that South Carolina defense tonight. Like I said, I thought this was a gun battle between Will Rogers and Spencer Rattler. Rogers made some pretty incredible throws himself. Mississippi State battled when they were down like 14-0, 27-17, 37-27. They could have given up. And this could have gotten real ugly real quick. But they battled. And I got to give them credit for that. And like I said last week, there are no moral victories in college football. But let's call it for what it is. They put up a nice fight. They didn't give up. Now, to be fair, I think both of these defenses have a lot of problems, man. Oh, my God, dude. This was an offensive spark. I mean, in a way, listen, I'm not going to complain because I'm incredibly happy that this team got the win. And this team is something else at home, man. I just got to say, this team is something else at home. And it's exciting to watch this team play at home, especially at night, bro. Like, wow. Excuse me. But, boy, both defenses got absolutely gashed. I mean, just absolutely torn apart. And, this is something I've noticed recently about South Carolina's defense as well. They're allowing some they're allowing some big time plays for the air, and I do think that needs to be cleared up, especially because we got Tennessee coming up, and we got some other teams that's going to be a problem as well. So there are definitely things to fix. But this offense, man, listen, when South Carolina's offense gets going, bro, they can hang with anybody in the country. Anybody. Especially at home at night. If you got the Gamecocks on your schedule, you got to come to Columbia at night. You better watch out. Especially with this duo. Because I'm excited, guys. I don't know if you can tell by my voice, but I am giddy about that dynamic duo between Rattler and Legette. It's been tough sledding for the Gamecocks as far as offense. We had to go for 2021 and even last year. I know it kind of turned on late in the season. You did what you did against Tennessee, and then you did what you did against Clemson, and you did what you did against Notre Dame. Even if you lost that game, let's call it for what it is, South Carolina battled. What an improvement, guys. What an improvement. I mean, the players look, on the offensive side of the ball, I mean, this team, it looks so much better. And again, I gotta give credit to Dow Loggins. Again, it's only year one. We'll see. Can this be consistent when Rattler and Legette leave? Because likely they're going to be gone after this year. But holy moly, man! If this dynamic duo can continue, especially away from home, South Carolina could match last year's record. They could. I'm not trying to anoint this team as if, they're amazing or something, but I'm telling you the truth, man. This offense, when they get going, they can hang with anybody. Even if the defense tried so freaking hard to blow the lead multiple times tonight, this offense said no siree. They just continued to strike. And they wore down Mississippi State. They wore them down. It was too late for the Bulldogs. And the Gamecocks got the win. Great night to be a Gamecock. Next up, Tennessee. They're looking for revenge. You got to go to their place. Boy, after what we did to them last year, oh my goodness! Like, you better be ready to go. You better be ready to go because Tennessee, I can promise you, they are ready for this game. And if South Carolina's caught slipping, it could be a long night in Neyland. If the offense plays like they did tonight, I say South Carolina's got a chance. We'll see, though. Good win for South Carolina tonight. Again, ugly performance defensively, but offensively, exciting. Hope everyone has a great night. What a night to be a Gamecock. Win, lose, or tie. It's always great to be a Gamecock. Have a good night. The South Carolina Gamecocks lose to the Tennessee Volunteers 41-20. Let's talk about it. That was brutal, ugly. I mean, are there really any words to describe this? And to be honest with you, look. I feel like almost everybody knew, unfortunately, South Carolina was not coming into Knoxville and winning this game, especially after what you did to them last year. I saw something like this coming from a mile away. But man, this very frustrating performance. Very frustrating performance from the defense, from the offensive line. A sack party all night long. Tennessee lived in South Carolina's backfield. Spencer Rattler sacked 6 times. Really the only good thing, maybe not the only good thing, but pretty much the only good thing that happened was a 75-yard touchdown run by Mario Anderson. Outside of that, just dominated. Tennessee's defense dominated you all night long. Their offense, man, this is just a beating. It was just a beating. A tough loss and a brutal beatdown. Just, the first half for the most part was competitive. Then you had a pick six to make it 24-10 at halftime. Just a brutal night. Just a brutal night for the Gamecocks. I just hate it. I hate that the 63-38 stuff is over now. I really hate that. I definitely enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. And Tennessee fans, congrats for your revenge. I have a lot of good Tennessee friends. And I want to say congratulations to them. I know y'all were looking forward to this after everything you had to endure over the past year. You got your revenge. No excuses. South Carolina got dominated. They had absolutely no answer in the second half. There was no way they were winning this football game. No way. You had no chance. And I hate to be so down, but I think it was very evident. With the offensive line, what could Rattler do? What could he do? When the offensive line is not protecting you, when it's basically a sack party all night long, you're not going to have a successful day. I don't care if you're Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Connor Shaw, Trevor Lawrence. I don't care who you are, man. No quarterback is going to maintain a lot of success constantly running for their life. This really reminded me of the UNC game in a lot of ways. It really did. It really did. Except Tennessee's offense was much more explosive. But in so many ways, this reminded me of the UNC game. Basically because of all the sacks that happened. All night long. Tennessee showed up in the black uniforms, dark mode, and they absolutely destroyed the Gamecocks. And they earned that win. They earned the win. It's tough to stomach for a South Carolina fan because it was really good. It was really good having to deal with the Tennessee fan base. And I know, look, Every fan base trash talks when they win, right? It's not just Tennessee. They're passionate fans. Can you blame them? Look at what we did to them. But, it felt so good last year to kind of get back at them for all the trash talk that South Carolina fans had to endure from the Vol fans and how we got to hear from them again. It's just like, ugh, it sucks. Bad taste in your mouth, bro. Every time you lose to Tennessee. And this was another thing. This is another team that you're not going to play for. You're not going to play for a couple of years due to conference expansion. OU and Texas coming to the SEC. Just brutal, man. Just brutal. 6 sacks, dude. Look. I don't know if it's just a road thing, but am I the only one who's noticing a pattern here? A difference, a major difference with how this offense performs at home and away. It seems like when they're on the road, they can't do anything. Look at what happened against Georgia, guys. You were doing so well in the first half, then you got completely shut down. And then tonight, Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. Offense was pretty much, you had some good moments, but you were basically ineffective all night long. 9 sacks in the USC game, 6 sacks tonight. This team on the road, man, it's can we just play every game at home, please? Can we please just play every game at Willie B at night? Because, man, never had a shot. Never had a shot. There is a lot of concerns about this football team this year. Offensive line, still shaky. Still a lot of problems. Clearly, it's not fixed. In the defense, the secondary, defense is concerning. Defense is concerning this year. Thank God we have a bye week, man. Thank the Lord we have a bye week because we really, really need it. I hope we have some serious discussions about this secondary and just how to get this team ready to play on the road. I know we have Florida. We come home against Florida, a team which, to be honest, I feel you should beat. But on the other hand, they didn't beat this Tennessee team. The same team that just got done beating us by 21 points. Not only did Florida beat Tennessee, they dominated them. So, that was not a gimme. That was not a gimme by any stretch. South Carolina's got to be ready to play. Your defense has got to stop. They've got to stop, man. Because I can already tell you, if the defense can't stop Florida's offense, Florida's nothing magical offensively. They're nothing magical at all. I think they're kind of a horrid football team this year. But look at what Mississippi State did to you. Mississippi State's not a good football team either. And, you beat them. Good job. But they still kept up with you all night long. And honestly, that Mississippi State game, you should have ran away with that one. You should have. You allow Mississippi State to hang around, and that could have turned very catastrophic. Thank God you kept blowing. You kept striking. Because if you didn't, you would have blew it. Why did I say blowing earlier? My God, dude. Quit mixing up your words at SECFT. But anyways, just a brutal night. Tennessee wins. Respect to the Volunteers, man. You got to give credit to Josh Heupel, what he's done at Tennessee. Tennessee's not perfect, but they're in a hell of a lot better shape now than they were 2-3 years ago. Got to give him credit. It's a hell of a job by Josh Heupel, man. And I'm really hoping this football team can bounce back after the bye week because, let's face it, guys, you're 2-3 right now. That Florida game is very important. That Florida game could be the difference between going to a bowl game or a catastrophic failure. Because if you lose that game, you're 2-4, and you have Missouri, A&M, you have Kentucky, you have Clemson. I know Kentucky and Clemson aren't great, and Clemson, holy moly, nowhere near as good as I thought they'd be this year. God, I can't believe I thought Clemson was going to be like a top 5 team. Holy frick. But, it's going to be tough sledding, bro. You got to win that Florida game. So let's just, fix some things over the bye week, rest up, work on the issues, come back home to Williams-Brice Stadium, and continue what you're doing at home. And beat the Florida Gators. Get revenge for last year. Go Gamecocks. Congrats again to Tennessee. And I hope you enjoy your Super Bowl. Okay. Hold on. Before y'all clown us, no one beats the bye week. No one. The bye week is simply unbeatable. It's they're you can't beat them. You can't beat them. No one beats the bye week. I mean, give credit to the bye week, bro. The bye week absolutely destroyed us. No one beats them. Like I said, they're like UTEP, bro. Can't be beat. Unfortunate. The Gamecocks somehow managed to lose to the Florida Gators 41-39. Let's talk about it. I'm going to go ahead and warn you guys now. This is going to be a rant. This is going to be a rant video. I'm going to try my absolute best to keep my composure and not swear or scream, but I am pissed, to put it nicely. How did we lose that game? How? We were up 37-27 with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. How did you lose that game? There is no justification for having a team down 10 in your own place, your offense absolutely rolling, and you lose. This is entirely on the defense. Entirely. I don't want to hear a single person blame Spencer Rattler or this offense. Well, he threw that interception. He should have never been put in that position, guys. You were up by 10 with 5 minutes to go in the fourth. You should have never, ever, ever, ever been in that position where you basically had to... Oh, my God. Should have never been in that position where you basically have to try to do a Hail Mary after leading by 10 with 5 minutes to go in the fourth. This defense is bad. It's real bad. Clayton White. Honestly, there have been red flags all throughout the season. And honestly, within the past couple of years. Not stopping the run. Now we're getting burnt for the secondary. Graham Mertz looked like a Heisman quarterback. And I'm going to be 100% honest. Give Ricky Pearsall and Graham Mertz credit. They played amazing, but Florida is not a good football team. I'm sorry, they're not. Well, they're 5-2 FT. They're 5-2 SEC FT. So what? This defense makes anybody look Heisman caliber. Anybody. Mississippi State sucks. Will Rogers had a hell of a day. Hell of a night. And then Graham Mertz comes over here and looks like the second coming of Jesus against that South Carolina secondary. Absolutely pitiful. Pitiful. There is no excuse for this. Off a bye week. Homecoming, if I recall correctly, at your home place. A game in which your offense is rolling. Spencer Rattler continues to play out of his mind. Mario Anderson looks good. Xavier Legette looks good. Carolina offense looks good. Offensive line is actually protecting Spencer Rattler. And your defense absolutely fumbled this game away. You should have never, ever lost that game. You were up by 10 with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and you blew it. That should be a fireable offense right there for Clayton White. I'm getting real tired of having to come on here and call for coaches' jobs every single year, it feels like, bro. Every single year. Every single year. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. There's no excuse for this. None at all. Again, give the South Carolina offense credit. They did everything they could in spite of this horrific defense to get South Carolina the win. And that defense, there's no excuse. None at all. None at all. Terrible. Just terrible. Clayton White, and I loved that dude the first couple of years he was in Columbia, but oh my God. It's like, remember when we were all on Marcus Satterfield last year, rightfully so, for how bad the offense is? It's like a reverse. Now we're on the defensive coordinator because the offense is looking good, at least at home. But the defense is horrific. Oh my God. Nothing changed after the bye week? Nothing? Nothing? You're missing tackles. You can't block anybody. I mean, dude, you're getting burnt on every play. Nothing was fixed over the bye week. Are you kidding me? Dude, that screams coaching right there. That screams coaching. And then you got Shane Beamer. And let me tell you this. I like Shane Beamer. I do. But some of his post-game comments are really starting to get on my nerves. The hot dog thing from the UNC, blaming the hot dog in the chain game, saying that was the most disappointing thing about the night, where no, sir, it wasn't. Not even close. Not even close. And then basically blaming the players. Saying, I know what went wrong. We're calling plays, and we just don't make them. The players aren't making them. We're calling this, and the players don't do it. Dude, it's on you to have these players ready, by the way. You're the head coach. There's no excuse for this at all. And it just really rubbed me the wrong way. Look, I understand players didn't make plays, but throwing your players under the bus, maybe I'm overreacting to this. Maybe I am, but that just really rubbed me the wrong way, man. That was a coaching failure. Because guess what? If the defense is struggling, that's the fault of the defensive coordinator. There's no excuse to not have this team ready. Not team. I'm sorry, offense. Defense. There's no excuse to not have that defense ready after a bye week. Oh my Lord. We're now 2-4, guys. And let me tell you, Missouri looks really good this year. And you got to go to their place. You haven't beat them in 5 or 6 years, a million years, whatever, since the dinosaurs were on Earth. You're probably going to lose to them. Then you're going to be 2-5. You're likely going to lose to A&M. You're 2-6. And my Lord, if I don't want to talk this into existence, bro. Maybe I'm too negative. Maybe I need to calm down. But oh my Lord, if this defense can't stop Jacksonville State, that's going to be a long day, win or lose. I'm just telling you right now. We're looking at a 2-6 start. This is bad. You had to win this football game. And again, there is no excuse. No excuse. If this season turns out to be a failure and South Carolina misses a bowl game, which I'm not saying they will, because, beer ball's crazy. We saw how they ended the season last year. Okay, let's not rule anything out. But, dude, if South Carolina goes 5-7 or 4-8, we're gonna look at this game for the reason why, and it's gonna be solely on the defense. Why this season failed. No excuse. No excuse. I am angry right now. I'm angry. I'm tired. 5 minutes to go and you're up by 10. No excuse. None. At home too. In front of your home crowd. I believe it's homecoming too. Just horrible. Horrible. No excuses. a defensive failure. And the defense should be made to clean up the locker room. They should. You lost the game. You lost the game. Not the offense. Not the fans. Not the chain gang. Not the hot dogs. But you lost the game. Clayton White. And your unprepared defensive players. Just a very, 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 very inexcusable loss. Somehow. We didn't score a single offensive touchdown against them last year. Not one. That was a horrific offensive performance. And that was a bad game. It was a 32-point loss, but somehow this one hurts more. Seeing your team get absolutely destroyed, which that's what South Carolina got last year in Gainesville. Destroyed. 38-6. You should have won this game. You had them up by 10 and with 5 minutes, and you lose. That's what makes it hurt so much. I thought we had this team. Yet somehow. Somehow, bro. Oh, my God. South Carolina, bro. This fucking team, bro. It seems like every single year they find a way to lose games. Every single year. They find a way to lose games. They find a way to shoot themselves in the foot and turn into a national meme. It's every season, bro. And I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of it. I'm a frustrated Gamecock today. I'm frustrated. Horrible. I mean, just Clayton White. I mean, if anything, his seat should be on fire after this one. Just unbelievable. I hate to be negative. I love our players, but God help this team on the road for the next 2 weeks. We're looking at a winless October. Oh my God. And honestly, outside of Vanderbilt and Jacksonville State, what other game is this team going to win if they can't stop anybody? Just inexcusable, guys. Just inexcusable. Horrible. I mean, what more can I say, guys? What more can I say? This offense, though, my Lord, Spencer Rattler deserves so much credit. This guy never gives up. He always fights. Even when the defense does him no favors, he always fights. How about Nick Harbor, too? Finally seeing some Nick Harbor. And he went up and made an incredible catch. Just showing why he should have been in a lot sooner, guys. Should have been in a lot sooner. I'm glad he's finally getting some time to play. And I'm hoping this becomes a trend because, Xavier Legette's amazing, but Nicholas Harbor is like he's the next guy. After Legette leaves next year, he's the next guy. We haven't seen much of Juice Wells. I'm hoping he's okay. Maybe he'll come back next year, but if that doesn't happen, if Legette does end up going, which is most likely, he's the guy. So you got to start getting him more, reps. Sorry, guys, I'm getting a little bit of a cold, but maybe it's from watching this defense, bro. It's enough to make anyone sick. Good Lord. So just bad, guys. Just bad. 2-4 now. 2-4. I miss last season so much, bro. As much mistakes as we had last season, oh my God, at least at this point we had positive momentum. What's there to be positive about right now? Well, okay, the offense. But 2-4, my God, man. Like, things aren't going so well in Columbia. We'll see what happens. From Columbia, South Carolina to Columbia, Missouri to take on the Tigers for the Mayor's Cup. Can the Gamecocks somehow beat Missouri and get the Mayor's Cup back in Columbia, South Carolina? We'll see. Thank you all so much for watching. SECFT, checking out. And please, for the love of God, please make changes. The South Carolina Gamecocks fall to Missouri 34-12 in Como. Let's talk about it. Another brutal beatdown on the road, as the Gamecocks lose to the 20th ranked Missouri Tigers 34-12 in Columbia, Missouri. Guys, I really, really hate to say this, and I don't want to be negative. I really don't. But I'll always be honest. Brutally honest. This season is basically lost for South Carolina. It really basically is. A 2-5 start. Like, we're basically uncompetitive on the road, guys. We're basically uncompetitive. Another game where your offensive line surrenders 6 sacks on the road, just like against Tennessee a few weeks ago. You know, your defense still can't stop anyone. Cody Schrader had a terrific game, in my opinion. You know, Luther Burden, one of the best wide receivers in college football. Really nice touchdown catch from Brady Cook. Missouri is really good, guys. South Carolina just got completely dominated. This game was so lopsided that it was 24-3 at halftime. Never close. Never, ever close. Thoroughly whipped. You just got whipped. You just got whipped. And, you know, I've been hesitant to say this lately. And, you know, I feel like I was justified the last few years in saying this because, well, let's just call it for what it is. I genuinely thought South Carolina, for the 4 years that Missouri beat them prior to today, were the better team of the 4. Missouri was obviously the better team today. Missouri owns South Carolina right now. For whatever reason it is, Eli Drinkwitz owns South Carolina, and so does the Missouri Tigers, until further notice. And it doesn't even matter. I thought South Carolina was better than Missouri, clearly, 2019 through 2022. Maybe I was missing something, but I thought it was pretty clear. And then the game happened, and Missouri just completely makes South Carolina look foolish. And this was just a muscle show for Missouri all day long. Now in the third quarter, I thought, you know, Missouri kind of went for a dry spell a little bit. But still, the South Carolina offense couldn't do anything. Not a single offensive touchdown, all field goals. Spencer Rattler. On the road, again, this offense, it's just putrid on the road, man. It's putrid on the road. It's like, at home, this offense is guaranteed to score over 35 points. Get on the road, they struggle to even reach 14. I mean, it is something else, man. I don't know what it is about playing on the road. Maybe it's intimidating. Maybe it's something mental. But it is night and day difference between this football team, this offense in particular, at home than it is on the road. And it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate. Now, again, Missouri was a far better team than South Carolina today, and they absolutely dominated you. And the harsh reality here, guys, is this season feels like the Will Muschamp days. And I hate to say that. And I'm not comparing Shane Beamer to Will Muschamp. I'm not. But I'm just saying, like, a 2-5 record after everything you did last year, all the positive hype into the offseason, it just seems like it's all been undone. People are legitimately actually wanting Shane Beamer fired right now. I'm hesitant to say that for multiple reasons. Number one, guys, it's year 3. It's year 3. Now, yeah, you should start seeing some things by year 3. It's year 1 mistakes happening in year 3. But to be fair, there are so much defensive seeds on these football teams. on his football team. So much deficiencies. And yes, they need to be fixed immediately. But I just feel like we need to give Shane Beamer time. And I know Gamecock Nation. It's frustrating. But I don't think the answer is firing Shane Beamer. I don't. But, certainly he's, I'm not saying Beamer hasn't started to rub me the wrong way a little bit. I mean, especially the things all week long we've been hearing about, the storylines, the broken foot, post-game comments, just everything about Coach Beamer. And again, I like the guy, but I'm not saying he's not getting on my nerves as well, but at the same time, I just feel like I'm not ready to say fire Shane Beamer yet, especially year 3. I feel like that's more of a year 5 thing. That's just my personal opinion. If you disagree, that's fine. But of course, be civil about it, please. For crying out loud, don't be a 4-year-old in the comment section. But it's just it's so tiring just seeing this team get obliterated almost every time they go on the road in the SEC. They just can't do anything, bro. They can't do anything unless they're playing Vanderbilt. They can't do anything offensively, like on the road, and that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. And this season's basically just turning into a lost season, a season that you're in real danger. It's probably already a given that you're not making a bowl game. I don't want to say it's a given because it's not given until South Carolina has 7 losses on the schedule. But it's definitely not looking like this team's going to make a bowl game. And that would be a catastrophic failure after everything that you did last year. I mean, and the reason I say this is, guys, we're not beating Texas A&M next weekend. We're not. We're going to be 2-6. And who do we have after that? Well, I mean, yeah, we have Jacksonville State. You should beat them. You have Vanderbilt. You should beat them. But you have Kentucky and Clemson. Neither team are flashy, but my God, is anyone going to pick South Carolina to beat those 2 teams right now? I know Clemson ain't looking good either. I know they're not, but excuse me. It's this team this year. It's unfortunate just how that Florida game last week really derailed this entire season, in my opinion. Maybe I'm too negative. Maybe I'll calm down. I mean, the game just ended a few minutes ago, so of course this is raw emotion after the game. But just seeing South Carolina get whipped like that, bro, just get whipped. It's demoralizing. And Missouri just continues. It's getting annoying losing to Missouri all the time. It really is. Although this year it's not a sorry Mizzou team that we lost to like last year and the prior years, but it is still frustrating because it feels like Missouri has turned into like the new Clemson streak. It really does. Or the new Kentucky or the new Texas A&M. Just all of that, bro. They pretty much dominated you to that level. And that's unfortunate. Again, give Missouri their flowers. I mean, really good football team this year. They dominated, they handled business, and they deserve to win. And I believe Missouri, they're going to go on to do really good things this year. I think this is a team that can clearly challenge Georgia for the SEC East. I think they can even beat Tennessee. I'm going to be honest. I even think they could beat Tennessee. I just don't see them losing to anyone outside of maybe Tennessee and Georgia. I mean, Missouri's good. Give them their flowers. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to get out of here. I need to get my mind off of football for a second because, oh my God, this freaking team, bro. But have a good day, everybody. Yeah. See ya. The Gamecocks fall to the Texas A&M Aggies in College Station 30-17. Let's talk about it. Oh man, here we go again, fellas. It's to a point where honestly, you kind of had to laugh more than cry, right? Here we are again after another loss. Like, oh, this is the fourth straight loss. Fourth straight loss. 2-6. Things are so bad, bro. I just gotta laugh for the pain, bro. Because it's better to laugh than to cry, right? 2-6. Thankfully, is there something positive from this? Actually, yes, there is something positive from this. It's the last road game of the season. Thank God. The next 4 games are at home. Jacksonville State, Vandy, Kentucky, and Clemson. You get them at home, where South Carolina seems to play their best. Because I am sick of the road games this season, man. Because, oh my God, dude. Now, give this team a little credit. They did come back and make it a little closer, or they tried to. It was, it was 21-7, 24-10, then it was 24-17. Made me think, oh my gosh, is there a chance? But then the Aggies pulled away in the fourth quarter. The team fought. They never gave up, but again, there's no moral victories. You lost the game, and you lost it by double digits. Watching South Carolina on the road this year, guys, it's honestly just been hard. It's been really hard to watch. It's hard and it's very, very devastating. I can't even describe how upsetting it is, really, for me as a fan. After everything that was last season. Listen, last season was not perfect. I'm not trying to put last season on a pedestal as if it was the greatest season in Gamecock history, but, man, I would take what we were at this time last year over where we are right now. I can tell you that much. We were 5-3 last year up to this point. We're 2-6. 2-6. South Carolina has to win out to go to a bowl game. And you got to play. Look, you should beat Jacksonville State and Vandy, but you got to play Kentucky and Clemson. I don't think you beat both of them. You might not beat either. This might be 2019 all over again, guys. And that sucks to say. It really is. But right now, we're looking at 4-8. We are looking 4-8. It feels like right in the face. And Jacksonville State, oh my Lord. That is an offense that can... Jacksonville State, they're not a pushover, guys. They're not. And if this defense can't stop them, I'm not saying we're going to lose to them, but it could get real uncomfortable. Just go ahead and prepare for it, because the best thing we can hope for, really, is that the offense continues to be absolutely hair on fire, electric, as they've been at home all season long. Because you're going to need it. This team seems to play their best at home. And you play at home the rest of the season. And for South Carolina to make a bowl game, they have to win the next 4. You get the next 4 at home. So South Carolina has a chance. They have an opportunity. But I'm just going to level with you guys right now. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Not with this defense. Nope. I don't think the defense did incredibly bad today, although Max Johnson absolutely lit up this Carolina defense. So, I mean, it's just same old road struggles, man. Same old road struggles. The offense can barely get anything going, and the defense allows over 30 points yet again. Yet again. How many games in a row is that, guys? In which South Carolina has allowed over 30 points. Let's see. Mississippi State, 30. Florida. Actually, no, not Florida. Tennessee, 41. Florida, 41. Missouri, 34. And then A&M, 30. And let's not forget UNC, 31. I mean, my gosh, guys. I mean, it's, thank God, dude. I'm just glad the road games are over. A winless October, just a miserable October for Gamecock football. 2-6. It's so disappointing. It's so disappointing, especially after the positive momentum you generated last year. To see this, I did not think that South Carolina would be in danger of missing a bowl game this season. I really didn't. I didn't. I at least saw 6-6, but right now, guys, it doesn't even look like we're going to get to 6-6. Now, maybe this team surprises me. Because admittedly, guys, this seems like a similar spot. It's not really that similar. It's not really that similar because I think the team was 4-4, but this almost seems like 2021 in a way, where it seemed like it was hopeless after the Texas A&M game to make a bowl game, and the Gamecocks found a way. The problem is, I mean, look, they beat two teams that no one thought they would beat, Florida and Auburn, in 2021, and they made a bowl game. The problem is, yeah, they got to beat two teams, but you got to win 4 straight. You got to win 4 straight. And yet, look, this is why I think it's kind of similar to 2021. You got to beat, because, I mean, look, Vandy and Jacksonville State. Jack State's not a gimme, but you should win that game. You should absolutely beat Vanderbilt. I mean, come on. It's Vandy. And then you have Kentucky and Clemson, 2 teams who are struggling this year. They're struggling. They're not very good themselves. Can South Carolina take advantage? And you got them at home. That's why, it's another reason why I think this is kind of a similar spot to 2021. How is this going to play out? How's this going to play out for the Gamecocks? Because I'll tell you what. You can, 2-6 sucks. Well, you could do 2 things about it. You could just give up. I'm talking to the football team right now, because the fans and even I have already kind of done this. But the football team, they can just give up, mail it in this season, a set 4-8 or 5-7, or at home, they can rally and go undefeated to close out the season and go 6-6. If this team goes 6-6, is that a successful season? No. It's not, but guys, I'll be honest, I'll take 6-6 over 4-8. 3 straight years in the postseason. I will take that. I will definitely take that. And I think any Gamecock fan with a brain would take that. But certainly it's been a disappointing season thus far. It's been pretty disappointing. Bowl game or bowl win, it's disappointing. After everything you did last year, the momentum you generated, and you're in a spot where you had to win out. And the chances of South Carolina winning out, guys, it's slim. Not really, not that slim. I'd say like maybe 40%. But I don't know. We'll have to see. Disappointing, though. Disappointing. Ugly. I mean, what more can you say, guys? What more can you say? See how this football team responds. Because like I said, similar spot to 2021 in my opinion. Real similar spot. It's similar, but it's different. We'll see how this team responds. Can Beamer ball? It's November. The Gamecocks in November are something else, bro. Can the Gamecocks do it again? Can they work their magic yet again? And in spite of everything that happened thus far, make the postseason. I'll tell you what. I think that'd say a lot about this football team if they did that. I think it would, because that would be super clutch. Because you could give up right now if you wanted to. Every single reason right now to just give up. I just don't think the team's going to do that. We'll see what they do. Forgive me for being a little, down as a fan right now. It's just frustrating. But we'll see. I'll always pull for Carolina. I'll always want them to do well. Win or lose. It's always great to be a Gamecock. We'll see how we finish. Go Cox. The South Carolina Gamecocks beat the Jacksonville State Gamecocks 38-28. Let's talk about it. So the first thing is first, guys. The Gamecocks won. And a win is a win, especially after 4 straight losses, a miserable October. Haven't won a game since freaking September. To finally get that losing streak off your back, it feels good. We won, but it was ugly. It was not pretty by any stretch. But a win is a win. Gamecocks, the real Gamecocks, South Carolina take down their twin brother, Jacksonville State, 38-28. And let me tell you this. This was a fight. Basically up until, basically the entire game. Right? It was to the point where in the third quarter when Jacksonville State took a 28-21 lead, I genuinely thought we could lose this game. I was scared we were. But then Spencer freaking Rattler with the bomb tutty. And of course, guess who? That's right. Xavier Legette. XL 17, bruh. Man. This dude, bro, at home. This duo is dynamic at home, bro. It really is. A 65-yard tutty to XL. Insane. Then Mitch Jeter kicking the field goal. And then Stone Blanton, basically the savior of the game, with a pick six to seal the Gamecocks win. And give me a sigh of relief. Again, it wasn't pretty. This is Jacksonville State's first season in the FBS. And we only beat them by 10 points. And we needed a pick six to do so. But again, a win is a win. And I will not complain. Although there is one thing I want to talk about. Again, the defense. I mean, this is kind of what I was fearing, guys. This is what I was fearing. That this defense would allow Jacksonville State to hang in the game long enough to where they have a chance. But thankfully, I can't rag on the defense too much because it was the defender, Stone Blanton, who basically saved the game with a pick six. But I'm just saying, thank God for this offense, bro. Just thank God for this offense. Thank God for this offense at home being so explosive. I don't know what it is about Williams-Brice, man. Maybe it's a mental thing like, oh, this is where we thrive. This is where we cook. We can't lose here. Like, that just seems to be the theme at home for South Carolina, right? Compared to on the road. It must be a mental thing. I don't know. This football team just operates in a different way at home. There's another thing I want to talk about, and I know I've talked about this a couple of times this season, and to a lot of people, no one really cares about it, but Shane Beamer basically did the find some joy comments again at the fan base. Like saying, oh, find some joy, quit being miserable about a 10-point, win over Jacksonville State. Like, there's going to be so much people who will lead a miserable existence talking about how we're dancing in the locker room after beating Jacksonville State, and that's why you're not on a team. It just like, Now, I know there are going to be people who say that, but I just feel like that was very, like, why say that? Like, why? I know, well, it's just a coach defending their players. Yeah, but who outright said that? That just seemed completely, just kind of seemed like, I don't know. I don't know. But maybe that was something that was on his mind. Like, oh, well, I might as well say this because I already know people are going to be saying this. Maybe it was something like that, but I don't think anyone at the press was asking about why are you guys, dancing in the locker room why are you guys dancing in the locker room after beating Jacksonville State? Like, bruh, I don't know. It just seemed, I don't know. Maybe it's just me again. Maybe the comments are just irking me, but it just seems like throughout this entire season, he's just getting in battles with the media, just taking shots at the media left and right, dude. Like, it just, I don't know. It just kind of rubs me the wrong way, but, is what it is. Hey, Carolina won. Carolina won. The real Gamecocks won. I will say, this is a matchup that personally I've always kind of wanted to see. I always thought there should always be a Jacksonville State and South Carolina game, right? The battle of the Gamecocks, the cockfight, it should always happen. I've always wanted to see that. And, oh my God, if we had lost this game. Oh my God, if we had lost, I can only imagine all the memes from the rivals and everyone else outside of college football had the Gamecocks have lost this football game. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about that because we won. Oh, man, this team will make you sweat. But they got the job done. So, it's a good day to be a Gamecock. It feels good to be back in the win column. This season has been very disappointing. Not much going right. So I'll just take it when I can get it. You know what I'm saying? Just take the wins and celebrate them when they come because, man, we haven't had much of them this year. So, celebrate it. I'm going to enjoy this. South Carolina is the real Gamecocks. I don't think there was any debate about that. I mean, come on, let's be real. Whenever ask anyone in college football about the Gamecocks, they're all going to say South Carolina because that's the Gamecocks. But credit to Rich Rod's team. Not a pushover by any means. They showed up to play, and they deserve a lot of respect. But I'm sorry, but you can't beat the OG, fellas. You can't beat the OG. Go Gamecocks. The real ones. The South Carolina Gamecocks absolutely dominate the Vanderbilt Commodores 47-6. Let's talk about it. That is win number 15 in a row for the Gamecocks over Vanderbilt. As South Carolina absolutely blasts Vanderbilt 47-6. A rainy afternoon at Williams-Brice Stadium. And the Gamecocks just absolutely dominated. A 41-point victory for the Gamecocks. It's been a while. I've seen South Carolina dominate Vanderbilt before, but I've also seen them play really close to Vandy. This is the first time I think I've seen South Carolina beat Vanderbilt by 41 points. And I know 2020 was 41-7. That's not necessarily 41. It's been a while, guys. It's been a while. This was actually kind of sad to watch. I'm not gonna lie. I have a track record for making fun of Vanderbilt with the Candy Vandy jokes. We own you. You're our little brother. You've never beaten us again, which is true, apparently. That's not true. Eventually, you're going to get us. Don't worry. But, man, I have to ask, how can Vanderbilt fans feel any type of hope coming into a South Carolina game, man? I know some of them saw, South Carolina, they're a 3-win team. They struggled with Jacksonville State. Could we? Maybe. Last time we were there, it was 21-20. So, I mean, it's dude, I'm sorry, but South Carolina owns Vanderbilt. They absolutely own them. They own them. And this was sad. This was sad, man. It was beautiful for me because this is actually what you like to see from South Carolina, right? Them absolutely take advantage and blast a team who, like Vanderbilt, guys, Vanderbilt is so horrifically bad. They are the worst team we've played. I believe Furman would beat this team. I am dead ass when I say that. Dead ass. And, it's not even fun making fun of Vanderbilt anymore. You just feel sorry for him, truly. You just feel sorry for him. Like, I really feel bad for Vanderbilt. I really do. Like, I try not to feel bad for, teams that South Carolina beats because I love beating people. I love talking trash when South Carolina wins, but it just gets to a point where, like, you beat this team so much, like, is it really worth it anymore? I don't know. South Carolina wins. They beat Vanderbilt again. God, I would say again, but it'd take me till the end of time to finish it. So, South Carolina just absolutely dominated. Love to see it. 4-6. All of a sudden, South Carolina, a 2-game winning streak. And I feel like this could actually serve as a confidence game. I know it's Vanderbilt. It's Vandy, so I mean, but I feel like South Carolina needed a performance like this heading into a rough 2-game stretch. Pivotal 2-game stretch, by the way, against Kentucky in Clemson. Season hangs in the balance with those 2 games. And I feel like what South Carolina needed to do to gain confidence is to come out and just take advantage and blast Vanderbilt. And they did that. Credit to this football team. Credit to this defense, too. Look, absolutely dominant. There was nothing Vandy could do at all. I mean, it was, like I said, it was sad. It was sad. There was nothing the Doors could do. They never had a shot. The Gamecocks just dominated them. And it was good to see them dominate somebody. It really was. It was good to see South Carolina just absolutely beat someone's brains in and establish some confidence, right? Because I feel like that's pivotal heading into what's the 2 games remaining. Your season's on the line. Kentucky and Clemson, that's not going to be an easy challenge at all. Clemson looks like they found something. And Kentucky's on the down low right now. I'm not going to lie. I really think South Carolina's got a good shot to get Kentucky next week. I really do. But, I feel like this was a get-right game. This was something that South Carolina needed. And hopefully they can take advantage of this performance. And it carries over to next weekend against Kentucky and the following weekend against the Tigers. I think I can pretty much end it there, guys. I mean, South Carolina just absolutely blasted Vanderbilt. That's really all you can really take away from this, right? I mean, it's pretty much it. South Carolina wins 47-6. We're still eating on that Candy Vandy bar. For the 15th year in a row, South Carolina enjoys another win against Vanderbilt. South Carolina is going to lose to Vandy again at some point. Nothing lasts forever, but it really challenges the question. When is that going to happen, guys? When is that going to happen? Like, when is Vandy going to get South Carolina again? Like, man, it just makes you think. This is like Tennessee, Alabama right now. I'm comparing that in streaks. I'm comparing that in streaks, by the way, not in like game intensity. But what did Alabama beat Tennessee before they snapped it a year or 2 ago? Like, what was it? 16 in a row? That's basically how this streak is right now. I think it's going to be a big moment when Vandy finally beats South Carolina. But, hopefully that won't be for a long time. And honestly, I don't think it's going to be for a long time. So, yeah. Beat Kentucky. I'd love to get Kentucky 2 years in a row. Oh, my God, dude, that'd be great. The South Carolina Gamecocks beat the Kentucky Wildcats again. Let's talk about it. Wait. Before we begin the video, checklist. Swag on? Check. Sunglasses? Check. Dancing? Oh, check. Let's go. The sandstorm was brought. The Gamecocks beat tough out and grind of victory against the Kentucky Wildcats. 17-14. A clutch win by the Gamecocks with Darude in the house. And I will say, I think it's awesome that Darude was in the building, right? I'm going to start off like that. I think it's awesome. The creator of Sandstorm, the song that we rally behind, that unites this fan base, that we rave to every single game. I think it was really awesome to see Darude in the building and for him to get to see his song and just how much it's adored by thousands of people. I think that was a really big moment for him. In South Carolina, they brought the sandstorm and they got the win. That was awesome. And it was against Kentucky, another good one. So let's talk about this game. Number one, it was a pretty ugly game, if I'm going to be honest with you. The Gamecocks went up like 10-0 in the first quarter, but there really wasn't much excitement after that. I mean, Kentucky scored a couple times, making it 14-10. And then in the fourth quarter, Spencer Rattler to Xavier Legette. The dynamic duo does it again at home, under the lights, at Williams-Brice. And delivers another win, 2 in a row against the Kentucky Wildcats. You know, I think it's actually awesome to see South Carolina actually put up a streak of their own on Kentucky. After the misery the Cats have given us over for a decade, it feels like South Carolina has completely turned the tide in this game in their favor. It's back where it belongs, in the Gamecocks' favor. While Kentucky, yes, I'll give them credit. They've had the advantage for the 10 years. But let's not forget, South Carolina owns the all-time series. They do. It's like 20-14, I think now. 20-14 and 3, or something like that. I'll have to look back on it, but I know South Carolina leads the all-time series. And I'll be honest with you, Kentucky, man, a team that's just fallen apart. Two teams heading in opposite directions, might I say, because South Carolina, they're on a 3-game winning streak. It's actually ironic because we beat Kentucky last year to get on a 3-game winning streak. Interesting fun fact for you there, by the way. So, yeah, as frustrating as this night was, it wasn't much offensively, but this defense, we've given them hell all season long, guys, and they deserved it. But when you give them hell when things go wrong, you got to give them praise when things go right. And I got to give them praise, man. They absolutely shut down Kentucky tonight. Outside of a few plays, Kentucky wasn't able to do anything, y'all. Now, that Kentucky defense played well, too. And this offense, nowhere near as electric as we've seen. But Spencer Rattler, Xavier Legette, clutched up and got the game-winning touchdown. Now, and again, I mean, that happened with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. The defense held their own. They held on. A good win for South Carolina. I mean, let me just brag on this football team. A lot of issues for sure. But this team, they have not given up. And they could have easily given up after that Texas A&M loss, bro. You were 2-6. Nothing was going your way. But this team in November, bro, the magical Beamer Ball month, man, is the magical Beamer Ball month. It seems like a switch has been flipped for the Gamecocks. Now, I will say, you are now 1 win away from a bowl game. And who do you have next? The Clemson Tigers, who you beat last year. You beat them last year. I will say this, though. Here is my thing on Clemson. Number one, they're another team who's kind of turned their season around, right? Looked really bad early on. But they've got on the winning streak ever since. They just beat Drake May, an elite quarterback, shut him down. They got a pretty impressive win themselves. And the way this offense struggled tonight, that's something you can't do against Clemson. Because I promise you, if you can't get anything going against Clemson, I don't see how you win that game. And, that Kentucky defense, I mean, they, for the most part, again, there were times when South Carolina broke off. But for the most part, they kind of shut down the Gamecocks, did they not? So I think we need to clear up some things on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, I think if South Carolina can hold Clemson, and here's the thing, Clemson's offense, they've looked better recently, but on the road, they've been pretty horrific themselves on the road. So if South Carolina can shut down Clemson offensively and give themselves enough of a chance, I can see this game, I can see the Clemson-Carolina game kind of being like this one. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I really could. I could see the Clemson-South Carolina game playing out just like this. Low-scoring, defensive slugfest. I just see that. I see that. It's South Carolina at home. At night. More than likely. I think it is a night game, right? Yeah, I think it's a night game. At home, at night. South Carolina, man, they just find a way to win at night. They find ways to win at night. And again, you beat them last year. A bowl game on the line. Clemson's had their struggles this year. Seems like a good opportunity. Really does. I think it's going to be a very exciting game next week, and I really do. But this team actually, I didn't think they would 3 weeks ago. I'll admit. I didn't think they would have a chance. After the A&M loss, I didn't think they'd have a chance to make a bowl game. But sure enough, we're sitting here, and they have a chance to make a bowl game. Man, it is incredible just what November does for this football team, what Williams-Brice does for this football team. It just completely turns on a switch for them. And again, this was an ugly game. Defensively, amazing. It was like the defense has found something. I know it's Vanderbilt and Kentucky. Kentucky's not the most impressive offensively, but to be fair, neither was Florida. And you allowed 41 points to them. So, give credit where it's due. The Gamecocks are playing well defensively. Again, not much going offensively tonight, but did what you had to do to win the game. And the defense, they complimented. They helped you out. The defense helped out the offense, and the offense gave them that touchdown in return. It's funny how it works itself out, right? Just amazing. And, of course, another win against Kentucky. Folks, I know Kentucky fans, look, good game to the Wildcats. I know you guys are disappointed. It's the season's kind of going down for you right now. But, hang in there. I know you got Louisville next weekend, which Louisville, really good team, playing in the ACC championship more than likely against the Florida State Seminoles. We're gonna see about that. But South Carolina's culture is still better than Kentucky's climate. Have a good one. A disappointing end to a disappointing season as the South Carolina Gamecocks fall to the Clemson Tigers 16-7. Let's talk about it. First thing I want to say, guys, is I'm dealing with a cold right now, so I'm sorry if my voice doesn't sound very good or I sniff too much. But, man, tough. The Gamecocks fall to the Tigers 16-7 and end the season 5-7. And I hate how much of a horrible bar that is. This season in particular, guys, it was just very disappointing. It really was. And just this game, it just seems like A disappointing end is kind of right for a disappointing season. And it feels awful to say considering it came to Clemson, but just, I don't know what else to call it, guys. I don't know what else to call it. I mean, just a disappointing end to a disappointing season. So let's talk about the game in general, guys. Number one, a defensive slugfest like I thought it was going to be from the get-go, but a little worse. Not much excitement outside of, I mean, it wasn't exciting for us Gamecock fans, of course, but like kind of the beginning of the game where Khalil Barnes, give him credit. I mean, the dude, heck of a football player, smart football player. With a backwards pass, he went and took it for a scoop and score and then an interception on the next play. Outside of that, really just no excitement. None. Nicky Minwari had an interception. Clemson's offense was held pretty much scoreless by South Carolina defense. The Gamecocks didn't allow a single offensive touchdown, but guys, that's not a moral victory because you still lost the football game. Like, I'm seeing a lot of Carolina fans brag about this, like, oh yeah, we lost by like 9 points, but at least we didn't allow a touchdown. At least we held them, without a touchdown. Like, guys, what does that mean, really? I mean, yeah, credit to the defense. Credit to the defense. They allowed no offensive touchdowns, but like, you still lost the game. And they still covered the spread. And the only touchdown we scored was off of a trick play that we are damn lucky went our way. Excuse me. Because if it didn't go our way, guys, we might be looking at 2 shutouts in a row at Willie B. Because there was absolutely nothing all night long that this offense could do. Just got absolutely dominated. Clemson's defense, again, give Dabo and that defense credit for as much as went wrong, for as much that has went wrong with Clemson this year. I mean, their defense is still amazing, and they absolutely smothered South Carolina, and there was nothing the Gamecocks could do about it at all. It was just a domination. Spencer Rattler, I think it was 2 sacks, but the dude got hit hard all night long. Xavier Legette got hit. There was one time where he was injured, which I thought, by the way, I'm just going to say this about Nate Wiggins right now. I thought those were clean tackles. I thought they were clean tackles. Mario Anderson got kind of concussed there after the Xavier Thomas hit. Just give Clemson credit, guys. It's that defense, a big difference from last year. Big difference from last year, where basically the South Carolina Gamecock offense just torched them. Disappointing. It's just this entire season, man, just disappointing. It's so unfortunate after the momentum you generated last year, beating Clemson last year. And I will say, it was a lot of fun last year, man. It was so much fun being able to talk after losing to them 7 in a row. I had so much fun last year. Just being able to celebrate a win against your rival. Just being able to have it back in Columbia. You couldn't hear from Clemson fans anymore. It was nice. But now you got to hear from them again. You lost. They didn't even need an offensive touchdown to beat you, which, guys, I'm just going to be honest. I think that's more embarrassing on our end than it is their end. Because, I mean, not to mention the special teams struggle for Clemson. They went off tonight. Jonathan White's had, he hit every field goal. If it wasn't for that kicker, my God, I mean, this would have been a 9-7 football game. Actually, no, not. Did I say it right? 9-7. I don't know. Just disappointing. It's very, very disappointing. Very, 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 very heartbreaking to see Spencer Rattler and Xavier Legette go out this way. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Spencer Rattler, for what you've done this year. Because for your time as a Gamecock. And don't forget this, by the way. He got Carolina fans a win over Clemson. There were awesome memories with Spencer Rattler. Even in a disappointing season like this, the dude played out of his mind all season long. And this was just a disappointing way for him to go out. Just got abused all night long. Nothing going at all for the South Carolina offense. It was just, just a disappointing way to go out. Disappointing way to go out. I was hoping for a better way to go out. A way that Spencer Rattler deserved to go out. Would be 2-0 against a rival. Just devastating, man. Just devastating. So 5-7, no ball. In year 3 of Shane Beamer, we go from 7-6, 8-5 to 5-7. Yeah, just a terrible excuse of a football season for South Carolina. Disappointing after everything we did last year. It's pretty brutal. And honestly, it was an ending that probably was always going to happen. It was an ending that was always going to happen in a season like this. My heart hurts for this football team, man. And then, Shane Beamer, this is another one I got to talk about, man. I've talked about this too many times, it seems like, this season. Shane Beamer was crying in the press conference earlier and stuff like that. And I understand that he loves his players. I understand that it's brutal losing a game like this, but I don't understand it. I really don't. I feel like I'm almost the only one who really has a problem with this, even though I've heard people like the Spurs Up show and some other Carolina entities call it out and say, like, the way he's acted in post-game press conferences this year has been, pretty bad. And they're right. It's disappointing. No other way to spin it. Just a brutal end to a brutal season for South Carolina football. And now the focus comes to 2024. Another, look at that schedule, guys. It's going to be another rough year. When Norris Sellers takes over, how is the transition going to go from, the most talented quarterback in South Carolina school history to Norris Sellers, who I think is going to be pretty good for South Carolina. But, he's already being anointed as, the greatest thing ever. He hasn't had much snaps. This year. So we're going to see how that goes. A lot of questions about the transfer portal. I mean, will this season really hurt South Carolina? Will a lot of people transfer out? Because that's what a 5-7 season does, guys. That's what a season like this does. Oh, God, I feel like shit right now, bro. You guys hate Colts, too. Like, oh, my God. But it sucks just as much, if not worse, in the game, bro. Again, good game to the Clemson fans. I mean, you guys earned it. Your defense, incredible. Clutched up. You didn't even need your offense. Didn't even need the offense. Didn't even need it. Credit to Jonathan Whites. Credit to Khalil Barnes. Credit to the entire Clemson football team. You guys earned that one. And I'm a classy South Carolina fan. I'm a trash talk when we win, like every single rival fan does, right? It's normal. It's normal. It's not personal. It's just normal. But I'm going to be classy and I'm going to congratulate y'all when you win. And you won and you deserved it. Good game to Clemson, and we'll see you next year. Until then, though, we got a lot of self-evaluation and looking ourselves in the mirror to do this offseason because so many things plagued this season. So many things. Offensive line, defense, road struggles, just, the lack of special teams as well. Another thing that's been disappointing this season is just no Beamer ball. Barely any Beamer ball at all, guys. Just seems like the magic was missing this year. Almost nothing went right this year, guys. Just a disappointing season. And a long off season of self-evaluation incoming for the Gamecocks. Thanks for watching. And, yeah. Go Gamecocks.